Yes guys, we are 1 week into year 2 content. Yes, 1 week already. It's been a week. Mental. It's been a rollercoaster week, but I've really enjoyed my experience. Warlords of New York expansion has really put this game back on the map. Kudos massive. Now, let's talk about something hard-hitting and something that's quite the elephant in the room that needs to be addressed and needs to be poked and prodded and pushed until something happens. But as always, I enjoy your feedback. I enjoy your commitment to offering me as much communication as possible that I can share with the devs. And I will do in this video. So guys, if you enjoy this video, please drop a like. Your comments are valued, so please comment below. I'd love to hear your opinion on the state of the game. And of course, if you can share this video on Twitter, Facebook, wherever. And guys, please do so, because this feedback is integral to helping shape the future of the game. Okay guys, yes, WOOO, welcome to the channel, welcome to this video. Now let's hit the nitty gritty. Guys, I put out a community post yesterday asking the very, very simple question. Any solo players in the community, can you drop your opinions below on how you feel about the solo player proposition we now have? I transferred the best comments into a video. Now, there was about 13, 14 comments. I can't discuss them all, I'm sorry. There is a time gap on these videos. I don't want them to be 20, 30, 40 minutes long. I can't do that. I can't talk for that long with no break because my voice will crack and then I'll become angry and then need a week off work. I can't do that. But what I do need to talk about is solo players, difficulty, scaling. Now, there are 3 fundamental underlying issues I need to talk about. Let's talk about them separately. First one, status effects. Status effects. Yes, guys, to hit the nail home, we do not have anything to immunise ourselves against these status effects. And if you play heroic content, you will know for a fact you are spammed by every type of effect possible against any NPCs. They will spam all that they have at you. So it is very, very difficult to try and stay alive. So status effects, they're frustrating. There's no immunisation. Div 1, we had the box, the lunch box. We don't have it anymore. Something to bear in mind. Now, will it make a comeback? I'd love it to make a comeback. But what I would like first, because you just look at hazard protection, that's been nerfed into the ground. What can we do? Status effects. There are too many of them. You spend more time trying to evade and trying to put yourself off fire than anything else. And that's a problem because you lose the enjoyment in the grind by continually doing this. Especially when you're against NPCs that are absolutely monstrous tanks. And that leads on to the next point. That is NPCs, armor and health. Now, I'm a huge believer in the harder content. There should be a scale of health and armor. There should be. I think that's a thing. It should be a thing. In the Division, I do feel that someone at Massive has just sat back and decided, let's make the game as hardest as we possibly can. So let's up the ante. Let's up the whole health and armor as much as we can. So these guys are walking tanks. Every single one of them. From challenging upwards. Let's do this. And I guarantee that's what they've done. So when it comes to any kind of content and playing solo, you have a problem. You have a genuine problem. The game appears to be more difficult than before. And I don't mean a tinsy-wincy bit, I mean a huge amount. And if you do the math, look at the health and the armor for NPCs and the amount of clips you put into them, it's not a fun experience. It isn't. I would rather a horde mode where there's more enemies with a lower health bar. Because you are taking out more enemies. And that's more fun. More fun in taking out more enemies. Yes, that is fun. Hitting the same enemy with 4 or 5 clips and then you just about rinse their armor is a problem. It really is. I feel that the NPC's armor and health is way too much. Now that leads me on to the next topic, the next point, which is the last point, and that is NPC's aggression. Now, the aggression of the NPCs, I'm sure they were like Bane on steroids. When I say Bane, Bane from Batman, that big mother trucker. That big massive guy on steroids, and every single NPC is one of those, and they're just bullet sponges. Bullet sponges that have hunter-like reactions. They are everywhere, and they will just literally feed off your bullets. And again, when you look at the key ones, they will, yes, restore armor. Restore armor. We need more ammo. We need more ammo, but not only that, we need a bit more balance, because these are things, again, they, you know, in all honesty, it does deter people from playing this content. And why I say that is, ultimately what I want to do is I want to build and build until my build is legendary possible. And that is, for the most part of the community, the right thing to do. You build to get this min-max build, you can push in the best content. And you say, I've done it, look. And the problem that I have now is I have seen people play legendary content and whatever the weather, it's just a frigging nightmare. And then someone will say to me in this comment section, they will say, but when your build is min-maxed, you are laughing. And my response to that is, guys, are you seriously thinking that 10% armor, 10% skill damage, 10% skill repair, and 10% weapon damage, and needless we go on, when all that is stacked, do you still feel you'll be doing a hell of a lot more damage against these NPCs with a trillion armor? I don't think so. I genuinely don't think so. So yes, I do feel there is an imbalance. I do feel that. And now if we just go to the community, I had a really wealth of responses. Now we're going to start with my good friend. This guy is as knowledgeable as they come. He posted this. Metal Sentinel, I'm not a solo player, as you know, but from a solo player's view, I think that even with a min-max build, the game is still way too difficult. If you build into damage, then you're too squishy and die from a few bullets. If you go all armor, you're not putting out enough damage to even tickle the NPCs. And if you're a skill player, then you have to rely on using different ones depending on the situation, which just becomes a chore. Serious trauma detected. And it stops the flow of the gameplay, and this again just reverts back. Sorry, I digress. Let's go back. So to summarise, I think the difficulty scaling definitely needs to be looked at again to give more balance to the game, as people want good gear but struggle to get it due to not wanting to spend 1 hour plus on a mission. I have spent a long time heroic missions doing the content with people more experienced than what I am, and they have left. And it's been about an hour and a half, and if we've passed it, I've been sweating, I've been stressing, I've been struggling, and that is very reminiscent to nearly everyone in the community. It is a pain in the ass, and the rewards, they do not match the risk. They do not match it whatsoever. So again, I do feel there's a problem. When you go to legendary difficulty and you add all these stacks and balances that you're going to earn through, you know, you level up on the watch, it's still not enough. It is nowhere near enough. But still, there's an imbalance. Jeffrey Levin, on a PvE basis, the big issue I have is the scaling between hard and challenge. Too big a gap. Enemies rush too much and are too much the bullet sponge going from hard to challenge. And again, it's a big step. I did a few hard challenges solo, and I thought, I'm laughing all the way to bank. Why am I doing this? Went to challenge, and I thought, shit, this is a struggle. And it was a genuine struggle. And then you're in a team, it all depends who's in the team and what the output is, because there's been so many occasions where I'm reviving my teammates, and in doing so, I get taken down by highly aggressive rushers. Not just 1 or 2, there's about 3 or 4. So it's a problem, it's a struggle. So again, is it the players are not good enough, or is it the scaling is too high? That's the question, and I feel that when you just look at the comments, you just know the scaling is too high. Now, George Collard, solo solitaire player here. I absolutely love the new sandbox. Hard actually feels hard, and I actually feel like I have motivation to really min-max my builds. Before even a half-assed pyromaniac build would tear through challenging content. I'm excited to have a reason to put the work in on the build. It's also nice to be a little bit scared of named enemies for once. And yes, man, I completely agree. Before, yeah, you would have, again, as I said, the comment in question is the pyromaniac build. It would beat any content consistently, easily. I didn't want that. I want, again, an increase in difficulty, and I didn't ask for them to just crank up the volume as high as it can go to make it quite difficult on challenging content. And you've still got heroic, and then you have legendary. So I do feel there is a huge scale difference, and I just hope, again, balance. That's what we need, and that's the word that we always come back to, is the balance. D-Money posted this: playing as a solo player is rough as hell in the higher difficulties, but definitely still doable with the right build and skill. Certain talents are useless because they require you to be in a group to utilise them. The NPCs are kind of broken considering how much damage they deal and how much health and armour they have. I really wish they would tweak how hard they hit and how much damage they take. Again, on the money, quite literally. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate the comment. Solo player, yeah, it's... Again, as someone said this to me yesterday, and they said this, quote, I feel punished to be a solo player. Whereas before, any Seeker Mine build or any Hive build would obviously go through content. And that, to some people, is a problem. But to others, that's their heaven, that's their paradise. My problem is now, can you just go through heroic content solo? And guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. It's not impossible, it is doable. But how much time do you have to sacrifice to do an heroic mission on solo and balance that with the rewards you get? Because what the rewards need to be, they need to be a bag full of cash. They do, because that needs to be the reward. I don't mean 10, 20 pounds. I want about 100 quid plus, because that is a chore, and it's an unfun chore. So that's something to bear in mind. I do feel, again, it is all doable, possible, but I'd rather just churn out 20 hard missions and have twice the amount of loot. Personally, that's how I feel. Let's go to number one. Let's see this guy, D-Hash. I usually play solo, but find that it's easier to play the way that they intended, as a die or team. My point man for the build, my point man build for group play seems to be my best so far and a lot of fun. It wasn't happen with the crazy grenades and tanky enemies, but I adjusted it and I like it now, even solo. Yeah, I genuinely believe the game is in a better place. The content's brilliant. The gameplay is brilliant. I feel personally that, again, they are on steroids, they're on drugs, they're on so much high power. It is literally how many bullets can you pop into an NPC and take them down. And I feel that should only be, seriously, this should only be named enemies. They should be walking, talking tanks. And I have zero problem with any named enemy that's going to drop loot to have, or to be that bullet sponge. And that takes a ruckload, and I mean a ruckload, of bullets and ammo to take that person down. I think that should be the case, but not every freaking NPC you come across in challenging and heroic. So yeah, something to bear in mind. Now the last one is El Medi. Posted, bro, if you play solo you will suffer as hell. I play with friends, still feel the game hard. If you see some YouTubers pro on PC doing legendary missions in 1 hour 30 minutes, what about us on console? Maybe we need 4 hours. Maybe we do, fella. Maybe we do. It is a harder content, and maybe like the raid, maybe in time will become better and more efficient, and do it in 5 minutes, maybe. But still, that's something to bear in mind. It's, as it stands at present, it is a very, very difficult situation, and we will get better as we go on, and our builds will become more stronger. But still, I don't feel the math, the formula is anywhere near where it should be to balance NPCs against the player. I just don't think it's a thing. There are plenty of other comments on this discussion that I can't talk about them all, otherwise I'll be here for days. But check them out in my community thread. Again, please leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. I'm genuinely impressed by the update, but I do genuinely feel that this content is exceptionally difficult, especially for heroic. There's many people playing the game then leaving, playing the game then leaving, and that's a fact of, again, due to how hard the content is. So as a solo player, I just feel unrewarded. And I feel funneled into this group play because of how difficult it is solo. So you play in a group and then ultimately people leave and it makes it harder. So guys, let me know what you think in the comments section. This is not a rant. This is me trying to put the game back on the right track because the game is in such a wonderful place, but the mechanic of these ultra difficult NPCs are a little bit OP and they need a rebalance. I genuinely feel they do, and sooner rather than later. Guys, as always, drop a comment below. If you enjoy it, thumbs up, and subscribe for more Division 2 content. In the next one, peace.